For my research project, I traveled to Ecuador to analyze drinking water following the earthquake of 2016. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake devastated the coastal region of Manabí. The infrastructure was destroyed and workers descended upon the region with aid and supplies. Part of that aid was biofilters for drinking water. These filters use the same process as dialysis to filter out microbials down to 0.02 micron. The filters help combat E. coli, cholera, and other harmful bacteria. The concern was that even after filtration, the drinking water might still possess nitrates and total dissolved solids. This project was conducted approximately 1 year after the quake.
Okay, so here we are in the village of Tababela, Ecuador, the first leg of our trip. This is what we are considering our base camp. We are at an elevation of about roughly 8,000 feet elevation. Tomorrow morning we fly down to the coastal region of Manabí. That's where we'll be doing the most of our research, most of our water testing. Hopefully we get some good data and get some good results. We are now in the community town of Rio Canoa. What we are going to do now is we're going to conduct a analysis of nitrate. We're going to do an analysis with a fluorimeter of cadmium and lead, and for the photometer we're doing nitrates like I said earlier. What we will do is we've got a sample here. We've taken the sample directly from the water source. If the camera will roll over there, you can see the water source, and that's coming directly from a well straight to that water source there. So what we've got our sample. We'll take our sample, we're going to treat it with our reagents, and after we've got our samples and did our preliminary readings here, we're going to treat this water with 70% nitric acid to stabilize it and get it to a pH of 2. That way we can seal this, get it back to the States, and run further analysis.
That's some good shots.
So we just got done doing a nitrate analysis on the water in Rio Canoa, 1.1 milligrams per liter, which is very reassuring. But the only thing that gives us some cause for concern is the TDS, which is the total dissolved solids. It usually measures in parts per million, and when we got the reading, it actually transferred to parts per thousand. So that tells us that there is a little more in the water than what we would like to see. Our next thing we're going to do here is run the fluorimeter. We're going to run our lead and cadmium analysis, and as we're prepping this, we'll see how it goes.
We found the highest concentrations of nitrates and total dissolved solids in the coastal region of the country, as we had first expected. Also, the highest concentrations were in the cisterns as far as water storage is concerned. And surprising enough, some of the cleanest water came from the rainwater itself.
Okay.
So we've now returned to Tababela, Ecuador. This is our last leg before we get back on the plane, head back to the States. It's been a long 2 weeks, and we had a couple of hiccups, but we've also come up with some pretty good data, I think. From what we can see and gather from the preliminary testing that we did, the Tankero trucks are relatively clean. We think we might have a little problem with the cisterns being dirty, but we will know that once we get back in the States and do a little more in-depth analysis. Once again, hopefully we made some progress. Hopefully we changed the place a little bit.